It's a slightly different video from me today because I'm not at work, but I am in Hebden Bridge with Eric. That Eric there. I've decided that maybe it's decision time for Eric, the rather unloved looking Rover 25. Having spent a week now deciding what I should do with this car, I've kind of come to a conclusion. And the conclusion is I should keep it for a bit longer, as in another month. Another month to make the most of something that isn't so precious. If I keep it too long, I'll end up messing about with the paint and trying to make it really shiny and really rather nice and things. And that will, believe it or not, spoil it. Yeah, that sounds like it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But there is some logic behind what I'm saying here. And that is that this car is just happy to do a job. It doesn't complain, it just gets on and does it. It always seems that when you've got cars with rough paint and things that haven't been particularly well looked after, they have a kind of lovely honesty about it. A bit like having a rescued dog, where it just does what you want it to do without any complaints. And this car certainly does that. So, here's the plan. Keep it for the winter months. Having a car that's just not precious just makes sense. It can get covered in salt, get dirty and things. As long as it works, it's fine, and it will keep working. It's not so vulnerable that it's going to fall apart. It doesn't need to be kept clean. So I need to go about a couple of things here. And then this could be and should be my daily car throughout the month of February. And I'll only sell it, you know, if I really get offered some silly money for it, which isn't going to happen. And then in March, I will put it up for sale. By which point I will have completely spoiled this car by making it look nicer. Having washed it the other day, it is now covered in salt and grubby stuff. But I don't care. That's not going to do that wing any good, but I don't really care about that. And you can certainly see there is an awful lot of salt on this car. And my dent removal thing hasn't worked as well as I was expecting, but I will come back and do some more on that. More salt around the back. Look at that. Look at it, it's filthy. It reminds me in many ways of my first car, and that's always quite a nice feeling. And since having my first car, I've had many cars that remind me of my first car, and that is a car that is scruffy and scratched and is probably, you know, if not careful, it's heading for the scrappers before long. That isn't going to happen with this car because I'll make sure it doesn't. But it doesn't stop me from having that same kind of unusual bond with it. And it is a bond. It's really odd. When I got Alfie last year, it was actually the year before now, straight away I really liked it because of how lovely and precious it felt. This is kind of the opposite. I like it for the opposite reason. And having something that isn't precious sometimes is more valuable than having something that is precious. Maybe you'll understand me. Maybe you'll just think I'm talking utter nonsense. But that's how I see it. So, come March, it's going up for sale. And by that time, it'll probably look a bit nicer. 25, which is possibly the easiest car you can ever live with. That means that although they do have a couple of faults here and there, they always drive well, they never really break down, you don't get any knocks or rattles from the suspension, and you know when it's MOT time, it'll probably just go straight through. The L series diesel's not the most refined diesel going. It's very, very rough and agricultural, but it'll do about 60 miles per gallon. So even though diesel's currently about 25 pence per litre more than petrol, this car will, you bump some diesel in and it'll just keep on going all day, and the needle won't even move, which is a welcoming sight. Oh look, there's a Gary coming the other way. I've run out of screen wash. The screen gets dirty exceedingly quickly when it's salty. Okay.